If your chest has felt tight for no reason today. If a certain memory keeps knocking on your mind even though you tried to push it away. Stop scrolling right now, dear one, because this message was placed in your path for a reason, and the next few minutes are going to explain why. Before we go any further, I want you to do something small with me. Type "I am here" in the comments below, just so I know you received this. It only takes a second, and it helps me know this message truly reached the person it was meant for. Now let's begin. Dear one, if you could feel what is being felt for you right now, in this very moment, your whole body would go still just to listen closer. Somewhere, someone is thinking of you with a love so real that even sleep cannot quiet it. Longing does not wait for the right hour to show up, but when night falls, it seems to grow bigger inside the chest of the one who cares for you. I am here today because I was called by that very person you also feel somewhere in your heart, even if you have tried to talk yourself out of it. While the world outside grew quiet, this person went to a corner of the room, covered their face with their hands, and prayed. It was not a rushed prayer. It was full of tenderness, asking heaven to watch over you, to bless your life, to guard your path, and to somehow let them feel close to you again, even if only in spirit. This connection you sometimes feel is not something your mind made up. It is as real as your next breath. That night, this person longed for you the way someone longs for rest after carrying something heavy for far too long. It was not a small wish. It was a full and honest plea, sent with love, sent with faith, and sent with trust in me, the messenger who carries these quiet prayers forward. I heard it, I felt it, and that is why I am speaking to you now. That prayer was not random. Your name was spoken carefully, the way we handle something we consider sacred, and woven between the words was a simple hope that somehow, someday you would feel what was being sent to you, that you would be led here to this very moment without even understanding why. And here you are. That quiet room became the setting for one of the purest moments a heart can hold. There was no noise, but inside, so much was happening. Longing turned into prayer. Hope turned into a conversation with heaven. And love took the shape of a simple wish. To be near you again, sitting together, talking or saying nothing at all, just sharing a bit of time, just existing side by side, even for a little while. This person asked for my help to reach you, and this message is exactly that help arriving. A sign sent straight from one of the most honest feelings a person can carry for another. You did not stumble onto this message by accident. You were called here by a heart that misses you the way only two connected people can understand. Dear soul, pause for a moment. Welcome to the Angel's Message for You original channel. Please check the channel name carefully. It's Angel's Message for You. This is our only official channel. Beware of copycat and fake channels. Stay connected to the original source to receive authentic angel messages and true blessings. A very special thank you to Sharon, Edith, Freddie, John and Scott for sowing your seed for Soulmate here through Ko-Fi link. Super thanks. May this seed return to you multiplied with soulmate blessings, divine protection, love, well-being, and abundance. May the angels guide and watch over you always. Thank you for your beautiful support. Blessings always. Let's know what angels want us to know. When I quiet myself to listen closely to what someone truly feels, what I sensed from this person was so much more than simple longing. It was care. It was devotion. It was the plain and honest wish to share life with you again. This is not a passing wave of missing someone. It is something that stays warm even when everything else feels cold. And even without knowing how things will turn out, this person keeps believing you are worth praying for. That particular night carried the weight of many memories, along with the hope of something new beginning. And this person did something beautiful with all of that feeling. They turned it into words, lifted up toward the sky. I watched their eyes fill with emotion. I heard every thought reaching for you. And now, all of it is arriving to you like a gift, a gentle reminder that you are loved far more than you realize. Stay with me until the end, dear one, because I still have so much to share with you. What was asked for you, what was truly felt, and what can happen from here. As night falls, an ache begins to form in the chest of the one who thinks of you. It is not an ordinary kind of missing. It is the wish to have you close, so close it feels like reaching a hand into the dark and almost touching you. And even knowing they cannot hold you physically, this person closes their eyes and imagines you there anyway, as if your presence could be felt without a single word. Picturing you in that space changes everything about the room. There is no bright light, no sound, only the memory of moments you once shared, and the quiet wish to build many more. This person is not asking you to be perfect. All they wanted, in that moment, was your honest company, your true attention, your presence without any masks. Simply the way a heart misses someone. Plain, sincere, and whole. Every night, the same gentle scene happens again. The body settles down, the thoughts drift, and suddenly, it is your face that appears in the mind. Not because there was no one else, but because your place was never filled by anyone else. This person could try to get distracted, but nothing is strong enough to erase the pull of this bond. You became part of a space inside them that time simply cannot wear down. What they feel for you is not something temporary. It has been fed by real memories, small honest moments, tiny details that turned into what feels like an emotional home. That is why you come to mind at night. Not because you are a name from the past, but because you never really left their heart. Their love searches for you even without knowing exactly where you are. Because this bond does not need an address. It only needs truth. That room may look ordinary, but it holds more feeling than many crowded places ever could. There, this person lives out a quiet ritual of connection. Not for drama, not out of neediness, but because that is where the heart finally opens and shows what it truly carries. And every time you cross their thoughts, it is as if a little space is reserved just for you, hoping that somehow you might be there too. There is more. This pull you may be feeling right now, even without understanding it, is reaching you because of an energy that was sent your way. Please do not brush it off as nothing. It is not a coincidence. What this person feels runs deep, rising from the heart and moving through the whole body, shaping the way they think, breathe, and wait. You live inside their imagination as a steady presence, and even more than that, as a steady hope for closeness. Even without spoken words, they sense something still waiting to be lived between you, something still gently pulsing. And when you suddenly feel a tightness in your chest, or a random thought crosses your mind out of nowhere, it may be this person's feelings crossing quiet, invisible distances to find you. What makes this feeling so strong is the honest surrender behind it. There is no pride here, only faith and a willingness to try again in a new way. This person is not trying to rewrite the past. They want something real and present with you now. That is why, on nights like this, before closing their eyes, they think, if only you knew. And now, dear one, you do know. You are missed in the most sincere way possible. None of this is meant to pressure you into anything. It is simply here to show you that a heart is still waiting, wishing you well, believing there is something more beautiful still meant to happen between you. Something that is hard to put into words, but easy to feel. On that particular night, it was not only longing that filled the room. The space felt sacred, as if everything inside it had taken on new meaning. This person did not look for a distraction or a quick way to escape what they were feeling. Instead, they knelt beside the bed and did something not everyone has the courage to do. They opened their heart completely and spoke to heaven with total honesty. No rehearsed words, no performance, only truth. The prayer began with a slow breath, as if the outside world had stopped mattering for a while. What mattered was you. The prayer was born for you, for your well-being, your life, your heart. They asked that you be supported through hard days, protected in moments when you feel lost, and that your soul would somehow know it is never truly alone. They asked that the path between you both be made a little clearer, that doubts be lifted, and that whatever is true between you would have the strength to last. This person did not ask to be sought out. They asked that you be cared for. That is the kind of love that does not demand anything back. It only wants to see you at peace, living with a lighter heart. It is hard not to be moved seeing how carefully this prayer was made, with attention to every word, with surrender, with the kind of faith only someone who truly cares can reach. Your name was the one spoken, and when your heart tightens for no clear reason, it is often because your name is being lifted up somewhere, wrapped in hopes for your protection and your peace. I was there. I watched this person speak to heaven the way someone speaks to an old, trusted friend, asking for something precious without demanding it, only trusting. This trust does not come from empty hope. It comes from something steady, something real that stays quiet but strong inside the chest, even with everything uncertain in the world. This was not a prayer looking for a quick answer. It was a confession made from love, a moment of complete openness where all this person wanted was to reach you, even invisibly. And in that moment, they asked for my help, calling on me with a gentle voice and honest eyes, so I could somehow find you and carry this energy to wherever you are. And look, it reached you. You are reading this because your own heart answered the call, because even without knowing exactly why, you felt something important was on its way. This message exists because of that person's faith. Faith that you could still feel, still sense, still hear this even from a distance. This is not about empty words thrown into the wind. It is about a feeling carried upward with real strength, real truth, and an intensity that is rare to witness. This person asked for you without expecting anything in return, only carrying the purest kind of care one person can hold for another. And that alone tells you something about the depth of what they feel. When this person reached out to me, it was not with panic or desperation. It was with plain truth, the kind of strength only someone who loves deeply can carry. Their words came with such honesty that they cut straight through anything that usually keeps a feeling from being heard. It reached me the way an urgent, gentle message arrives, all at once. In that moment, I understood. This person did not only want to be heard. They wanted you to feel loved. What they asked for was so sincere that it quieted every other thought around it. It was not a request born from neediness. It reached you because someone truly believed you deserved it. And I am only the messenger, standing between that feeling and your own heart, which is now beginning to understand. Have you ever wondered how the heart behaves when nobody is watching? On that quiet night, in a room where everything felt still, that is exactly where the deepest truths began to surface. With a mind still full of thoughts of you, this person let themselves feel everything, and instead of running from it, they chose to open their heart and admit, even just to themselves, how much you still matter. It was not planned. It happened the way feelings do when they simply cannot stay hidden inside anymore. The words came out slowly, almost like someone talking softly to themselves, but carrying the weight of a truth that no longer wanted to hide. You were remembered with affection, with longing, with real care. And without even realizing it, in that quiet room, you were the center of every thought. Dear soul, before we continue with today's angel message, I'd like to invite you into a small but meaningful act of faith for your soulmate journey. Love is one of heaven's greatest gifts, yet every precious connection can face moments of uncertainty, fear, or unseen negativity. If your heart feels led to place your soulmate connection into God's loving hands, you can sow your seed through Ko-Fi Super Thanks. You'll find the Ko-Fi link in the video description and the pinned comment. As you give, let your seed become a heartfelt intention of hope, inviting the angels to surround you and your soulmate with divine protection, healing, wisdom, and perfect timing. May your connection continue to grow under God's guidance, strengthened by love, peace, and His everlasting light. The Bible reminds us that every act of generous giving is an expression of faith. Proverbs 11 verse 25 says, "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." And Acts 20 verse 35 reminds us, "It is more blessed to give than to receive." When we give with a joyful heart, we honor God and place our trust in His perfect plan. If you feel called to sow this seed today, thank you from the bottom of my heart. May God bless your generosity, strengthen your soulmate bond, and fill your life with love, favor, and heavenly peace. Now, let's continue with today's angel message. They spoke about how much they miss your gaze, the peace your presence used to bring, and how even with time passing, that feeling has not changed. It was an honest release of everything held inside for far too long. And do you know what makes this so special? This kind of feeling cannot be forced. It simply happens. And when it stays even after every attempt to move on, it is because it is real. That night was a conversation from soul to soul. Nothing was said to impress anyone. Every sentence came from somewhere deep and true. They remembered the small things, quiet laughs, looks that said more than any words could, small gestures that left a lasting mark. And as they remembered, they realized what they feel for you never actually faded. It simply grew calmer, deeper, more certain. In that moment of honesty, something in the room seemed to shift, lighter somehow, as if the surrender had cleared away every lingering doubt. And even without every answer, one thing became certain in their heart. You are still the reason behind many quiet prayers, hopes, and wishes. You are still the choice, even after everything the path has held. What was confessed that night was more than a memory. It was a certainty that if given the choice again, they would still choose you. Not out of habit, but out of connection. Among every face in the world, it is still yours that feels like it makes sense. It is your voice that brings calm. It is your presence that touches something real. This person is not chasing perfection. They only want what the heart recognizes as true. Between one honest thought and the next, a quiet hope appeared, that you would be able to feel all of this, that you would see you are still loved in a rare and uncommon way, that your spirit would sense how important you still are to someone who prays for you, hopes for you, and believes something truly beautiful can still happen. Whatever has happened in the past, you still carry something inside you that touches lives, that leaves a mark, that changes people. That is the awareness this person wanted you to carry. The simple understanding that you are loved, that you are seen as an essential part of a feeling that still beats, still dreams, still believes. This energy does not fade with time. It renews itself with every quiet thought, every honest wish to be close again. Please do not brush off what you are feeling right now. That warmth in your chest, that pull to understand, that curiosity that led you here. All of it comes from a real, honest calling from a heart that never stopped believing in you. This energy, even though it cannot be measured or fully explained, is just as real as the longing you might also carry quietly inside, even when you try to hide it. Not everything the heart feels needs to be said out loud right away. Some feelings are kept safe in silence, like something precious, so they do not get lost in the rush of everyday life. This person holds a wish like that too, one that has grown slowly, fed by memory, hope, and the belief that real love still has a place in your life. This is not about grand gestures or impossible promises. It is something simple yet deeply felt. They wish to share life with you again in a truer, more present, closer way. It does not need to be perfect. It only needs to be real. This person wants to see you well, wants to share ordinary moments with you, because they have learned that being close to someone you truly care about can turn even the simplest day into something meaningful. Every time your name crosses their mind, this quiet longing stirs in their chest. With every returning memory, every unplanned thought of you, they wish to look into your eyes again, not out of need, but because they still believe a different, new path is possible between you. That is why this wish was never let go. It has been kept like a small hope that warms the heart on the hardest days. That particular night carried old memories, but also carried a soft, new hope, almost like the first breath of a fresh beginning. Wrapped in every emotion, this person turned all of it into words directed upward. I witnessed the moment their eyes grew wet, not from sadness, but from the honesty of wanting something true. I heard every thought trying to reach you, as if each unspoken feeling turned to light and traveled straight to you. And now, all of that energy is arriving in your spirit like a quiet gift, a living reminder that you are loved more than you can fully imagine. You do not need to answer this with words. It is enough to simply listen with your heart, because this kind of truth is not explained, it is felt. Right now, you are receiving everything that was spoken that night, every thought that was never said aloud but was offered up with hope that one day you would understand. Have you noticed how, at certain moments during the day, a feeling washes over you for no clear reason? A memory rises out of nowhere, a sudden urge to stare into space and think about someone specific. That does not happen by accident. The energy sent that night, spoken with faith and love, traveled quietly and found you, even without warning. This connection does not depend on being physically close. It shows up in the body, in the mind, in the emotions. Ever since that honest prayer was spoken, something has been gently stirring inside you too. It is as if an invisible thread has been softly pulling your attention toward something real. This kind of energy does not recognize distance. It can move between two hearts and reach the other with real intensity, even without a single word. And you are responding now with your attention, with your heart beginning to notice something bigger is happening. You know those moments when a wave of peace or unexplained restlessness passes through you. Often, that is simply an energy searching for you, recognizing you, gently insisting on reaching you. This person did not only think of you. They sent thoughts filled with good intention, wrapped in prayer, carried by real feeling. And that kind of thing does not simply disappear. It finds its way. And right now, it is touching something inside you. You might try to explain it away, maybe tell yourself it is only coincidence. But somewhere inside, you already know it is not, because it feels too steady to be random, too constant to be imagination. The truth is, your name was spoken with real faith, and faith carries a kind of power that is hard to explain, yet somehow always finds its way through. The love behind this message is made of honest presence and pure intention. And the most beautiful part is that this person never tried to control you through any of it. They did not want to manipulate or pressure you closer. What they did instead was far more meaningful. They trusted love itself. They handed the universe their wish to reach you with respect, gentleness, and honesty. And that is exactly what is happening now. You are being wrapped in a quiet energy meant to remind you how important you truly are. Stay with me a little longer, dear one, because there is still so much to share. What was asked for you, what was felt with real intensity, and what may begin to grow from this moment forward. There are nights when this feeling presses even harder, not from sadness, but from intensity, because sometimes a caring heart simply overflows. Reaching upward, reaching toward me, and now reaching toward you. And in those moments, I am sent with one purpose: to bring both hearts a little closer, not physically, but in spirit, in energy, in truth. This request came from someone who genuinely cares about you. Their concern was real. Their intention was pure. All they wanted was for something good to reach you, for your spirit to feel a little lighter, to no longer carry every worry alone, for your mind to find rest and comfort in knowing that someone still believes in you. And here is what touched me the most: the way this person asked me to bring you into that quiet moment. It was a request filled with humility and honest love, a surrender made with closed eyes, an open heart, and a steady spirit, almost as if saying, I cannot do much with my own hands, but I trust that love always finds a way, even across distance. This kind of faith is not common. Only someone who has looked at you with real, honest admiration can feel something this deeply. Someone who kept their memories of you without bitterness. Someone who still sees the good in what you once shared. This person does not see you as perfect. They see your doubts and your struggles too, and they still choose to hope for your peace, your happiness, and your presence. In everything they asked me to carry, there was no rush, no pressure, only a heart quietly saying, carry this feeling to wherever this person is. Let them feel, even for a few minutes, that they are still loved, still remembered, still hoped for, even from far away. That is when I understood this love has roots, has memory, has real direction. You may have told yourself that what you shared was only a passing phase. But when someone prays for you with this much sincerity, it is because something remained. Not just a faded memory, but a feeling that still beats steadily. Even when daily life fills up every spare moment, you are still somewhere in someone's thoughts, still mentioned quietly in their prayers, still present inside a heart that has not grown tired of believing in this connection. When I received this request, something shifted in me. I felt this was no ordinary prayer. It was a quiet cry of love, one that did not need to be loud to be heard by someone with an open spirit. And your spirit was the one this reached, because this person trusted that hearing this message, you would recognize within yourself the truth of what still exists between you. This person is not waiting for something magical to happen. They are simply nurturing hope. Hope that time does not erase everything, that what is true always finds a way to remain. Even when life pulls people in different directions, real love tends to stay quiet, but whole. That is why you are hearing this now, because a feeling reached out for you, and you were touched by it. I know you may not have every answer right now, and that is completely okay. But I want you to understand that you were remembered with affection, with faith, and with the sincere hope that some light would surround you in this very moment. That light is here now. That is why you found your way to this message at exactly this time. It is not random. You arrived because you were called. This person's feelings asked for you to somehow be touched, and this message is the answer to that quiet request. They are not waiting for promises. They are longing for presence, a presence that begins within you, in how you carry yourself, in your willingness to love, without so many walls up. When you let yourself truly feel, without fear of seeming too open, something settles into place inside your own emotional world. And that settling is the first real step toward new paths opening up. What is being asked of you is not some impulsive action, but a conscious choice, choosing to look at this love with kindness, choosing to stop ignoring the signs, choosing to approach this energy with respect, courage, and intention. Because when two people who genuinely care about each other decide to meet in the same feeling, time seems to cooperate, and things simply start to align. This person has already done the hardest part. They opened up. They prayed. They felt everything fully. They asked for help. Now it may be your turn to take a small next step. Maybe that step looks like reaching out. Maybe it looks like simply sitting quietly with an open heart, letting this energy settle and grow. Could be something as simple as looking back at shared memories with more gentleness and less judgment. The truth is, when both people are honest, connection can be rebuilt. Even in silence, even through the smallest details, love does not need to be pushed down. It only needs space to reorganize itself inside you. And when that happens, things have a way of lining up, bringing closer what is meant to be close, reconnecting hearts that still recognize one another. You are being called here because something is waiting for you. It is not an obligation. It is an invitation to stop looking away from what your heart keeps quietly telling you. Answering this call simply means being honest with yourself, looking inward and admitting, I still feel this. I still think about it. I still care. That does not make you weak. It makes you human. And honestly, it can be healing. Maybe you need a little more time, and that is completely fine. Just try not to dismiss this energy or treat something this persistent as a coincidence. Love is a path best walked with surrender, and if you feel deep down it is worth walking again, even slowly, even carefully, then let this message serve as your sign. You were brought here because your heart needed an answer. Not the shallow kind, but the kind that speaks to the soul and lights something up inside your chest. By now, you may realize everything you have felt lately actually had meaning. It was not your imagination. It was not simple loneliness. It was real connection. A bond that never truly broke, only waited quietly for the right moment to reveal itself again. The answer you deserved was always sitting in the small details, in memories that never faded, in the feeling of presence even during absence, in the thoughts that kept circling back to the same place. Now you understand this connection was guided by something greater, something that crossed distance and time to reach you with the strength of a love that still believes. This person never gave up on you. Even on the coldest days, even when words stopped and the path felt far apart, they held on to hope, kept praying, and trusted you would eventually feel this calling. And you did. You are here now because something inside you recognized that love, truth, and possibility are all still present. This message reflects everything quietly sent out into the universe on your behalf. Feelings you may never have heard spoken aloud, but that were carried with faith through quiet nights of prayer and hope. This person does not see you as someone from their past. They see someone who still matters right now, someone worth caring for even from a distance. The answer has been living inside you all along. It shows up in the warmth in your chest, in the calm that spreads for no obvious reason. It is your own spirit recognizing a love that has been searching for you. It is your intuition finally noticing a sign that has been sent your way for quite some time. You were cared for quietly, remembered fondly, and missed with real respect. And now it is time for you to fully know that. This is not only meant to comfort you. It is also an invitation to look at yourself with more love, to understand that you deserve to be loved deeply, that someone in this world has never truly let you go from their heart. And this connection still feels strong because it was never built on convenience. It was built on truth and genuine care, and that is rare. The love reaching you through this message is mature. It does not demand. It offers. It does not pressure. It waits because it understands that real connection happens when both people are ready to recognize each other with ease. That is what this person hopes for. Not a perfect fantasy, but a real story built on honest presence and shared growth. Now that you know how deeply you are cared for, what will you choose to do with that? There is no rush here, only awareness. You do not need to hurry. Just allow yourself to feel. The first step has already happened. You listened, and by listening, you allowed something inside you to be touched. That alone is powerful. That alone is healing. That alone is connection. Dear soul, before we continue, I'd like to invite you to take a quiet moment to bless the one God has placed on your heart. Wherever your soulmate is tonight, may they be surrounded with peace, protection, and divine love. If your heart feels led, you can sow your seed for your soulmate through Ko-Fi Super Thanks. You'll find the Ko-Fi link in the video description and the pinned comment. The Bible reminds us, God loves a cheerful giver. 2 Corinthians 9 verse 7. When we give with a willing and grateful heart, it becomes an expression of our faith, love, and trust in God's perfect plan. Let this simple act become a heartfelt prayer saying, Lord, watch over my soulmate tonight. Keep them safe, strengthen their heart, and guide us according to your perfect timing. Thank you for supporting these messages of hope and encouragement. May God bless your generosity, multiply His peace in your life, and continue preparing both you and your soulmate for the beautiful journey He has planned. Amen. Let's continue with divine message. This message is not here to pressure you. It is here to free you, to free the love you may have hidden away out of fear of feeling too much. When love is real, it always finds a way back to the person who needs to feel it. And today, that was you. That sincere prayer has been answered, and you were brought to this exact moment to understand there is still time, still room, still meaning here. Everything you needed to know, you now know. Love is still alive, and it is waiting quietly for a sign from you. Dear one, it becomes hard to ignore the strength this love still holds over your life. It is not just a simple memory, tucked away and forgotten. It is something living, steady, and full of purpose. A feeling that did not just survive time and distance, but actually grew stronger in quiet thoughts and sincere prayer. A love that had the courage to ask heaven for you, and heaven listened. Every word spoken was heard with care. Every quiet sigh, every wish for your well-being, every request for your protection was received as pure truth. This was not a small outpouring. It was a real surrender, the certainty that even without guarantees, praying for you was still worth it, still worth dreaming about a day when your presence could be felt again without walls, without doubt, without rushing. You received this message because that quiet request reached me, and it became my purpose to help restore this connection, even if only through this revelation. And now that you have been reached, there is nothing left to push away. Something inside you shifted. Longing found a name. Doubt found some clarity. The feeling found its answer. And even if part of your mind tries to protect itself, your heart already understands. What you choose to do from here is entirely up to you. No one is trying to force anything on you. But please know, this message did not come to stir you up without reason. It came to prepare you, strengthen you, and remind you that someone never stopped seeing you with real affection. Someone who, even on the hardest days, kept a small light of faith burning for both of you. Someone who prayed not to simply have you back at any cost, but so that you could be free, happy, and, if it is meant to be, present in their life again too. Real love has a strength that is hard to measure. It waits without demanding, cares without holding on too tightly. It wishes you well above any pride. And it was with this kind of love that this person quietly asked heaven for you. Now you carry this truth inside you. It will walk beside you in the days ahead, showing up in small, unexpected ways. A sudden thought, a dream, a memory that arrives like a soft breeze but carries something powerful. Stay open because you will start to notice that nothing shared here was an exaggeration. Life will begin to show you gentle signs. Things will start to make more sense, and that quiet feeling that had been sleeping inside you will start to wake up with more courage, more clarity. Please do not ignore it. Instead, welcome it. Let this energy in as an answer that arrived not on your schedule, but on the right one. And if somewhere deep in your heart you also feel there is still something meaningful between you, know that it is still possible to build something new. Not from where things once stopped, but from exactly where you both are now, carrying everything you have learned, everything you have felt, everything you have grown through. What exists between you does not need to be forgotten. Can be lived in a new way, with more honesty, more maturity, and more faith. After so many nights of feeling, thinking, and quietly surrendering everything to heaven, something clear began to take shape in this person's heart. It is not only desire. It is not only affection. It is not simply an old memory resurfacing. It is a decision, an awareness, an honest wish to build something that brings real peace and real truth. This person wants to move forward, but not without you, not out of dependence, but out of a clear, mature, heartfelt choice. They finally understand that no matter how many directions life pulls them in, no matter how much time changes things, you remain the part of their heart that lights up when everything else feels uncertain. You remain the direction that brings the most calm, the most inspiration, the strongest wish to care. That is why, in recent nights, this feeling did not just tighten. It aligned. It organized itself. It became clear. This person understood there is real purpose in this connection, real reason behind this calling, something greater holding it all together. And the most beautiful part is that, for the first time in a long while, they are ready to embrace what they feel instead of running from it, ready to accept the strength of this bond instead of denying it, ready to build instead of only imagining. This means what is approaching now is not pain, not loss, not more uncertainty. What is approaching is clarity, connection, and truth. A quiet but powerful shift that has already begun and will soon show up in the space between you both. The outlook here is genuinely good, because when love becomes conscious, when it stops being a weight and instead becomes a real choice, doors seem to open. And I can clearly see those doors beginning to move. Something gentle but real is making its way toward you. Something born from a heart that thinks of you often and is now finding the courage to turn feeling into action. Dear one, receive this message with a calm heart. There is light on the way. There is quiet movement happening inside the soul that cares for you. And you will notice, sooner than you expect, that what once felt far away is actually starting to come closer. Heaven heard what was asked, and what was felt is beginning to become possible. You are walking towards something beautiful, something worth waiting for, something that did not land in your heart by accident. This message has been delivered. That prayer has been answered, and you have been found. From here, the next steps belong to you. There is no need to rush. Just listen to your own heart. It already knows what to do. And when you allow yourself to follow what you feel, you will notice that love never really left. It was simply waiting for the right moment to show itself fully. Stay alert, because something is coming. A sign, a small confirmation, an opportunity. And when it arrives, remember this message, remember everything shared here, because none of it happened by chance. A heart asked, heaven answered. And now, dear one, it is up to you. Receive this message fully, and always remember. This kind of guidance will keep showing up in your life in quiet, unexpected ways, gently protecting you and reminding you that you are never walking alone. May peace, courage, and clarity surround you as you face whatever comes next. You are supported, you are seen, and you are deeply, deeply loved. If any part of this touched something inside you, leave the word Amen below, or simply share what came to your heart while reading this. Someone out there needs to see that they are not imagining this feeling either. With infinite love, always here for you. Dear beautiful soul, this angel's message for you channel is a sacred spiritual home, created for faith, healing, and divine guidance. A place where hearts awaken and lives are gently transformed through divine messages. We warmly invite you to subscribe and stay connected, because the divine is always preparing something greater for your journey, something you are meant to receive in divine timing. If you feel moved to support this mission, you can sow your seed here for your soulmate blessings and divine love fulfillment. Your contribution is not just support. It is an energetic agreement with love, healing, and divine alignment in your own life. When you give with intention, it opens doors. Love flows more freely, happiness expands, and abundance multiplies in unexpected ways. Many believe that giving in faith activates a return of peace, joy, and emotional fulfillment in relationships and life. Whether it is $11, $22, $33, or $55, your generosity helps us continue spreading these divine messages of hope, healing, and soulmate guidance across the world. Every seed sown into this mission helps hearts heal, faith return, and souls reconnect with love. This is more than a channel. It is a movement of light, unity, and divine timing. Your support allows this sacred work to grow, touching lives that are searching for answers, comfort, and spiritual direction. We are all connected in this journey, and together we rise as one community under divine love. Let us open our hearts to the abundance that is already on its way. Amen.